Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the 31st October International Perspective webinar series. Today we will be discussing about near zero building, how to make possible. So our speaker today coming from Chiang Mai University, Thailand, which is Dr. Brook. I saw him already joining the Zoom. Dr. Brook, can you say hi to the participants?
Hello, good afternoon. Thank you for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you. Uh, Before we start our webinar today, I will give the participant here a quick introduction about our project. So the International Perspective Webinar Series is a series of international online knowledge lectures jointly led by the CMUTED and then also China ASEAN Technical Education Cooperation or CATECP and co-hosted by International Youth Culture and Education or KEMG and GoStudy. So our program is expected to invite 1 until 2 school faculty members to give webinars each month, aiming to enhance and enrich the growth of knowledge and broaden the horizons of learners in the Southeast Asian region by inviting experts from different countries and fields to provide high quality and universalizable online lectures that will help all the learners to acquire specialized knowledge through knowledge sharing and cross-cultural understanding. So, as you guys have seen, and already say hi to all of you. Our speaker today is Dr. Pruk Agaransi. He is the former director of Energy Research and Development Institute Nakornping, or RD, at the Chiang Mai University. And he is also the assistant professor in Department of Mechanical Engineering at Chiang Mai University. While his professional field are renewable energy engineering, bioenergy system, waste to energy technology, and mechanical engineering, and sustainable energy development. So I believe today we will gain a lot of new knowledge about the renewable energy as well as the waste to energy technology, and can't wait to hear his presentation. So, Dr. Pro, are you ready?
Yes, thank you. Mm.
Okay. The time and screen is yours. You can start your presentation now.
All right. Okay. So good afternoon again, dear audience. I'm very honored to be here. Actually, Chiang Mai University is not a big university. It's a small university in northern Thailand. Um, But on the other hand, we are trying very hard, especially in sustainability development. We have been we have had track records, especially in renewable energy projects. So myself, my name is Pruk. Thank you for having me. Very nice to meet you all today. Um, so currently, I'm listed in mechanical engineering. I have done a lot of projects as I have been the director of the Energy Research Institute for 8 years. Now I'm out of my term, so I have lots of experience to share. I hope it's enjoyable. It's useful for you in your related work. Um, so before we start, I would like you to participate in a small survey. If you have another device like cell phone, you can scan the QR code right now. Just a quick voting. Um, a quick few questions for your aspects in climate change and global warming. Or if you don't have another device, you can go to menti.com and enter the joy code here 18515047, and we will have a little game um, just to know each other a little bit more, and uh, I can see your point of view on um, climate change. Okay. If you're not convenient with it, it's totally understandable. It's not mandatory or anything. Okay. Okay, I've seen quite a few people joining, about 14 people already joined. A lot is and you have cast your votes. So the first question is how much do you concern about global warming and climate change? So you have choice between I do not believe it and up to I believe it and it's too serious, it's too late to fix. So yeah, this is the voting result. I have 18 people. I may wait a little bit more, but obviously the results say most of you know that this is serious, and most of you also agree that I want to do more, or you want to do more, and understandable that some of you, some of the audience, and that's true for the rest of the world too, is um, people believe that it is already too late. We are already suffering, and nothing can be fixed. So more or less, I don't have right or wrong answer. I'm just trying to see the point of view or your positioning on this. You can still keep voting, and we'll come back later if there's any change in the world. And the second question in that survey is, what do you think the main reasons for global warming and thus climate change? So yeah, human fossil fuel use. Okay, definitely you're completely right. Um, the main reason for global warming is definitely human doing, right? And main majority of it is fossil consumptions. You dig carbon in the form of crude oil or natural gas from underground. Those carbon were kept underground before. Then you dig them up and burn them and release carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So logically, you increase the carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, right? So uh, it's quite straightforward that you induce some change in balance in the atmosphere, and you don't have to say too much on that what carbon dioxide can do to the atmosphere. The more carbon dioxide, the more heat can be trapped, and then the temperature of the world will change, right? So human activity, fossil fuel, people, deforestation, all of you are totally correct. Okay. Next, I also asked you, how do you think we can fix, or if you can fix this global warming? Okay. Um, yes, we can. That's a good spirit. We have renewable energy is one way out, and that's exactly what we're going to talk about. Innovation, of course, and use less fossil fuels. That's basically very, very correct. Okay, thank you for your participation. That's a good collaboration from the audience. Thank you so much for that. And let's go through something that I would like to share, some of my research. And oh yeah, public transport, of course, yes. Okay, thank you for your input. You can still keep putting your input. Okay, so climate change, we at Chiang Mai University, we have a big team working on climate change, including the energy. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I just, sorry, I just, okay, sorry about that.
Dr. Brooke, I think you haven't screen share, right?
Is it okay now? Is it, oh, it's not sharing. Okay. Here we go. Do it again. Okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah, climate change. I think all of you, I'm not sure where you're from, but I think you're from around the world, including Asian, China, and maybe Africa, maybe some South America. And I'm so happy that you joined us today. Um, Everybody, no matter where you live, is being affected by this climate change. Thailand alone, we can see a big difference in seasons in the so-called the level of severity in natural disasters. You have strange problems that haven't happened before. And recently, I don't know if you heard the news, you just found the first mosquito in Iceland, which is very alarming. So, um, I think since you all are here, we can say everybody believes that we are more or less affected. And we have been talking about 1.5 degrees global warming before. That was about 10 years ago. People talk about 1.5 degree global warming. Seriously, uh, sad news. Today we already achieved that. That's not an achievement, that's not a compliment, but we already achieved about 1 degree global warming already. So we are looking at, don't let it go to 2 degrees. So people are talking about 2 degrees right now because 1.5 degree is definitely uh, unavoidable. Okay. So I don't have to go into details, but yes, you will, and we will all be suffering from scarcity of food and water. New disease will pop up. Maybe we have another COVID, who knows? We have extreme weather, and we have other negative impacts to our living. So, and I believe all of the no matter which country you're from, your country is very likely to have joined the Paris Agreement or before that, the Kyoto Protocol or the UNFCCC COP conference. So your country more or less will have to have a target of carbon neutrality and then net zero. So today I can only share with you the target from Thailand. Thailand has been mandated or promised to have carbon neutrality by 2050. Um, then net zero by 2065. And along the way, Thailand has drafted quite a transparent, a straightforward roadmaps, uh, just as I'm showing. So a big target or big milestone that concerning our today talk would be 2050, 50% of the renewable energy shared. And then that can be achieved by two things. You can either install a whole lot of renewable energy, or you can also decrease the energy consumptions one way or another. So today we would like to discuss about that and focusing on facility or building of how should we be doing or what kind of future target should we be looking at. Okay. So at Chiang Mai University, last year we emitted 58,000 tons of CO2 emissions. And we have mitigated or we have decreased about 22,000 or 23,000 tons. If we didn't do anything, we should be emitting about 80,000 tons. So it's a work in progress, but I'd like to show you that um, you have to do something. And those doing or those activities are accountable, meaning it's measurable. So you can definitely report your footprint as well as the footprint reduction according to your activities. There are themes like management, mitigations, carbon offset and sink, educations and adaptation. So today I'm doing this, the education and outreach. That's a part of the program from Chiang Mai University. Okay. So when you said you have a roadmap that actually looks like this. Today is 2025, it's about halfway since the draft of this roadmap. CMU said 2050 is too far. CMU itself, and again, CMU is not a big university. We have about 50,000 people, students, and professors, and including hospital staff, altogether 50,000 people. So it's a medium-sized university, but we are committed to 2032 footprint reduction to neutrality. If you want to compare how big Chiang Mai University is, you can see this area, the slim area here is Chiang Mai International Airport. This is like 1.5 kilometer runways. And Chiang Mai University campus is here, campus number 1, campus number 2, and campus number 3. So we have altogether 3 campuses around Chiang Mai International Airport area. So it's not small, but it's not that big in terms of university. Okay, so from those carbon reduction pathway or roadmap, so you can generally dedicate topics into these pathway. So today we are going to talk about energy monitoring and demand control on the lower left side. But of course, we are doing something else like lighting, street furniture, infrastructure, carbon capture and storage, recycling and upcycling facility. So today we are only going to focus on energy monitoring, but in the near future, if we have another opportunity, I am more than happy to share other things with you too. Okay, so the roadmap says if we focus on the orange tab here, we have the roadmap of electricity concern. So in 2022, you should have smart energy audit and smart building. In 2024, you should have about 30% of smart building, 50% of renewable energy, plus initiative of energy storage, which we did. And that's the result that I'm going to show you. It's the work from 2024. 2026, you should have 70% renewable energy, and 2028 up to 2032, you should be relying on 100% renewable energy. And some of you that are from energy sector should be curious slash laughing at us right now because these numbers are really, really impossible if we approach in a conservative or conventional way. So I'll try to show you a new way, at least what we did with one building to achieve that. So some building can really go towards near zero energy. So that's a good sign of what we are trying to achieve. And apart from other things like waste, water, offset and sink, we are focusing on the orange tab here, which is electricity. Okay. So first thing first, I think it's true for everybody that, okay, yeah, if you want to increase renewable energy share, you just install a whole lot of solar panels. Yes, that is right and wrong. So CMU also install a lot of solar panels in the facility. In fact, we have awarded the subcontractor about 15 megawatts of solar panels to be installed on every roof in our facility, in on every building of our facility. And the result of this, today as is, if all the solar are working properly, we can only substitute or replace about 22% of the total consumptions. And we already run out of the roof area, right? By the way, in Thailand, you're not exactly allowed or support or promoted to install solar on the ground. Basically, solar farms are not very welcome because you don't really have that much land. If you install solar farms on ground, you're gonna basically take up the land for many years without other utilization. So it's not very well promoted. So all the roof area combined it to about 15 megawatt capacity. It looks good. It's a good number, a significant number, but still it's very far away from what we are consuming. On top of that, as you know, solar panels can only produce during the daytime. So it is not very well covered. It cannot very well cover 24 hours consumption, right? And before we move on, I have again a little game. Whoever missed the last one, you can try to join this game if you can. And this one is a little challenging. It's about if you understand the units. The reason why I need to have this game is I also like to understand how familiar are you with the terminology that I am using. So please join this and then we can play a little game together. So far I have 11 people joining. 14, okay, that's a good number. Okay, I will just change my screen a little bit. Okay, you should be seeing this screen. Okay, and when you're in, you'll be asked to put in your nickname, okay? If you put your nickname, it's gonna show up on this screen. So far I have 11 players ready. It's just a fun game. Do not worry about it. If you can join. Is anyone joining? I can just go back to the QR code. Okay, you can join with this QR code. Okay, now I have 21. That's great. Great, great. Okay. Oh wow. Now 28 people. Okay. I think we should be moving on. Okay, as time permits. Right. So you have 20 players ready. 21. If you already input your nickname, it's gonna be ready. So I think we have quite enough participant. I'll just start the quiz now. The quiz is gonna be about terminology of energy and power. So what is energy? a type of power, a rate of doing work, a unit of time, or the ability to do work. Okay, and you have very quick timing. Energy is basically the ability to do work, or in other words, energy is work itself. Okay, it's the amount of work that has been done, it's the amount of heat that has been used or absorbed. And people often confuse energy and power a bit. So let's go to leaderboard. I have, and the result is judging from if you get the correct answer together with if you very quick to if you quicker you get more points too. Okay, no pressure, but okay. Now question number 2. Answer quickly and get more points. Okay. What does power measure? So we try to distinguish between energy and power. What is power? Okay. And I intentionally give you a very little time to think. Very nice. A lot of people get it correctly. Energy use per unit time. So basically, power is the rate of energy used. Correct. Thank you for that. And let's see. Now we have a new leader, no? Oh, we still have same leader. Jonathan is still the leader in this game. Wow, good job. I bet you're from engineering. Okay. Next. Okay. Next questions. Ready? Which unit is used to measure energy? And there are more than one answer correct. So you answer either one of them, you get the point. Okay, the correct answer would be either kilowatt hour or joule. They are both the units of energy. Okay, let's see the leaderboard then. Jonathan is very quick and get it correct again. So I bet you are in the clear lead. Wow, okay. So good job, everybody. Last questions. And which unit is measuring power? Okay. Again, there are 2 correct answers from 4. 4, 3, 2, 1. Time's up. Let's see. Most of you get it correct also. Either horsepower is a measurement of power. You've seen it a lot in cars. Watts is power measurement, and you see that a lot in electricity. So thank you for your participation. And clearly, we have a very clear winner. Okay, Jonathan is the winner. Let's clap for Jonathan. Good job. Good job. Thank you very much for your participations. So back to our slide. Yes, give a hand to Jonathan. Yes, good job. Okay, so if you are not from engineering, nothing is wrong with you, okay? Because these number of units are the job of the engineers. It's not you, but if you want to learn, I would just give you a good hint of not everything you need to know. You only need to know a few things, such that you know how to measure energy, how to work with power rating and estimate energy. So that's the goal of today, right? So as we had done in the quiz, energy is the work that is done or consumed. Power is the rate of work or energy that can be used or can produce. So energy is basically equals to power cool times time, or power is energy divided by time, right? So it's straightforward as that. Because from this point, you're gonna hear a word like kilowatt, kilowatt hour, watt, and so on and so forth. Okay, so let's say I like to make sure that when I say kilowatt hour, it's basically a chunk of energy. And when you say watt, it's the power of the machine or the power that is being consumed. So that's is that. Okay. So in real life, you have to come across a lot of energy. Most familiar is electrical. You use it all the time. In fact, you are plugging in your computer right now. Uh, you are familiar with this, but there are other forms of energy. So that is why you have to convert. For example, you have natural gas, you have to convert natural gas to electricity. You have natural gas in terms of chemical, because it is a chemical composition that contains energy between the molecules. You burn it up, you change it into thermal, and then probably you change it into mechanical, and then you change it further into electrical. So in order to produce energy, you actually convert a lot, especially you produce it from fossil fuel. You have to convert to many forms of energy until you get electricity. Let alone you have to transport electricity by the transmission and distribution. So that's a huge infrastructure to support you to have electricity. So the conveniences of electricity is just the accumulated action from the past, that you keep building infrastructure, you keep building the stable facility to support your convenience. So it's not easy to deliver electricity to your house or to your building or to your office. Okay, energy are in several forms. So right now, I think we all agree that, okay, number one, electricity is not easy to produce. Number two, it use up, especially if your country, including Thailand, use majority of the input as fossil fuels. You keep burning fossil fuels, produce electricity, deliver to your house, and then you consume. Then you as a consumer, you never have to think for a bit that where is that from? It's always delivered. It's always very convenient. So that's not very good. I would love everybody here to concern that electricity is not easy to deliver to your doorstep or to your electrical outlet. In order to proceed, and number two, you know the unit of electricity. Okay. So electricity measurement, right? So if you are a concerned citizen, I think we all agree that we are all concerned. We both concerned about the consumption of electricity. So electricity or energy is power times time, right? As we agreed. For example, if you have a refrigerator that has a power rating of 800 watts, power rating mean whatever written in the label of that machine If the power rating of refrigerator is 800 watt, it's actually the maximum electricity that the refrigerator can take. But in normal operation, it only takes 20%. So good for you. It's only take about 160 watt on average. So, but electricity supplied to this refrigerator, is being plugged in 24 hours. So that means in order to calculate your 24 hours consumption is approximately 800 times 0.2, which is 20%, times 24 hours. So in 24 hours, your refrigerator will take about 3,840. The unit is watt hour. Or if you divide it by 1,000 or change it into a kilowatt hours, it's about 3.84. And that number 3.84 is what you pay to your electricity bill. You multiply with whatever rates your electric company is charging you. With that, you have to pay them at the end of the month. And at the end of the month, you multiply this number by the price, and by 30 days, that's how much you have to pay for that refrigerator. Of course, this number is an estimate. If you are a not so concerned citizen, you open that refrigerator almost all the time. That 20% might be increased to 50%, who knows? But then in general use, that number should be okay. So the unit is basically power multiplied with times, and times in this case to calculate the unit of electricity is hour. So 1 unit of electricity is kilowatt hour. So I think we all agree on that. And sorry if I repeat something so easy for you that's from engineering or science, but I believe there are audience that are not from that's not familiar with these two. Okay, let's talk about buildings. So in normal office building, especially in Thailand and tropical countries like ourselves, I think majority of you are also from Indonesia. You can easily get about 50% of electrical consumption into air conditioning. Okay, I think that's normal. In Thailand, in some season, like summer season, this number goes to 65%, right? So it's very, very important to know which uh, facility or which appliances consume how much energy in your building. So first step is to know your building, uh, know which part or how much energy is consumed in any part of the building. But from those of you from cold countries that you need to warm up your building, again, in winter, your rates of energy, not electricity, it could be gas or oil or hot water, or sometimes electricity can be also up to 60% when you have to heat the building too, right? But in Thailand, we never have to. We only have air conditioning almost 365 days. There might be only 1 or 2 weeks in a year that you probably don't need air conditioning. Okay. Um, so this is an example of an office building. Okay. So the first step of doing this is do so-called a time chart. If you own a building, if you own a company, or even if you want to take this experiment to your house, it's a very good start. So first step is to list from midnight to midnight of the other day, list your appliances, whatever you have, refrigerator, aircon, fans, light, TV, computer, cell phone, watcher, whatever you have. How many do you have? And then the biggest thing is you have to learn how to read the wattage or watts of these electrical appliances, and uh, and the power utility factor. Just like If the refrigerator is being used very heavily, I might have this at 0.5. Aircon, I might have this at 0.6. These numbers can be researched and justified. All of these almost full power all the time, but notice this, the hours of operation is very small. For example, hot shower, maybe in some house, you only use it for only half an hour, morning and evening. That's as example. The point is, when you see this, you're gonna be able to calculate the total electricity consumption of your facility. Okay, that is just a suggestion. You can do that, but in Chiang Mai University building, we do this to every facility. Okay, and then what you end up with is this. It is called load profile or measurement of energy consumption by the hours, or actually this graph is by the minute. So in our facility, we have the digital measurement. And what you can see from this graph, okay, very low from midnight to about 7 o'clock, goes up very quickly. And then somewhere around here, 40 kilowatt hour per hour, okay? And then it could peak up to 70 and it goes down and goes down. And then everything looks like it's shut down at 7 a.m., 7 p.m. Okay, so this is the observations, right? So low consumption from midnight to 7:30 a.m. That's imply that, okay, no one's here. Only the lighting in the corridors and some facility with minor appliances are being are consuming. But then abruptly at 7:30, people start to arrive. That means from this graph alone, I don't really have to see the building. From this graph alone, we can judge that this is an office building, right? Because, okay, you can see that people arrive at 7:30 altogether and start turning on air conditioning and lighting and computers and everything. It ramps up to this point. It is about almost 10 times higher than the night loadings, okay? And again, abrupt decrease after 7 p.m., right? It's indicating end of activities. So conclusion of this facility, I have seen a lot of these. In fact, all of the building, almost all of the building except the hospital in Chiang Mai University acts like this. So why are these important? If I have the graph like this from every building, I can plan further what to do with that building. Okay. So this building can be office building, school, university like ourselves, banks probably, department store maybe, and those kind of daytime facility buildings. So this type of building has to be managed with one set of principle, right? If we go further, okay, this is from households and this is from a hospital. Okay, what you see? From the household, you can see abrupt decrease from 6:30, implying, especially in Thailand and Asian tropical countries, people turn off the air conditioner at about 6 a.m., right? And then your consumption is very small during the daytime, especially when you are a modern family where absolutely no one at home during the daytime. So your daytime looks like this. And then what you see next is, okay, you start to arrive home about 6 p.m. and then, okay, you start doing something, do some cooking, maybe some activities, you turn on some appliance, and then at the end, you turn on your air conditioner and then you go to sleep. So if you see this kind of curve, I would say, okay, it's typical nighttime household profile. Okay. So that's another type of electrical profile. Okay. But then let's look at this hospital profile. You can see there's not much change between 24 hours. It doesn't go to zero in the nighttime. It's still about half or more than half of whatever happens in the daytime. So something suggests that this building has activity for 24 hours. For example, in a hospital, the air conditioning system never stops, right? But then during the daytime, there could be more activity than the nighttime, but the majority of the consumption never stop. It's 24 hours. So it's implied that 24 hours, this facility has 24 hours service, okay? So, and daytime load likely curve towards the temperature of the day. That's another observations, right? Basically, okay, people comes in, have more activities. When more people comes in to use more activities, uh, and also the daytime temperature increase and the load increase according to the temperature and the activities. So you can justify or make an educational guess that, okay, main consumption should be air conditioning. So being in the field of energy management is more or less like a fortune teller from instead of the palm, the line on your palms, you just read the line from the graph and make a good guess of the facility. But it's not doesn't end there. You have to suggest when you know this, you have to suggest what can be done more, what you can do better to uh, optimize this facility. So generally, we are living in the left part of this slide. Maybe you have building 2.0, you have building 3.0, where when building 1.0 is a building from 20 years ago, which CMU has a lot of this building. Majority of us is here. No control. People comes in, turn the switch on, no one knows anything. Right? You just turn on or turn off individually. You never know. You're gonna have to do almost manual measurement, right? And we try to upgrade those buildings into 2.0 or 3.0 where you can monitor uh, and has some control of the facility. So in the near future, you will see more and more of the new building being built with more and more control. Building 4.0, you have absolute control, but it's still human control. You have a control room, seeing everything, which light switch is on, which aircon is on, what is the temperature outside, how many people are in the room, and you can manually switch on and off or adjust temperature or adjust whatever power consumption in any room. You can see a lot of these 4.0 already in many new buildings, in hotels, in convention rooms, in department store, because it's so convenient for them not to walk a long way to turn anything on and off. So when you have 4.0, next leap is the so-called AI integrated. You can have someone else working the job for you, making the decision for you within your rules that you set. For example, if the building sees no people in some room, it can automatically turn off the aircon or turn off the lighting by itself. You don't really have to do anything. So this building is so-called 5.0. But then next generation, maybe in the next 10 years, some of the building these days has these so-called digital twins. The building maintain itself, think for itself, and manage itself. You just have to be there and live your life. The building has exactly everything mimicking if it has people in there, the digital twin in the system will see people in there. So it's so-called 6.0. We're not there yet, but we can see more and more of this in the near future. Okay, so the problem arises if we have 1.0 or 2.0 building, how can we become near zero? The mission of us of me to for this building is we have to turn this old building into a near zero consumption. So the definition of near zero means it has very high energy efficiency, right? So you have to, of course, work on the hardware like insulation, air leakage, lighting and appliances. Make sure that they are high efficient, low energy consumption, efficient aircon system. And then another approach, an important approach, is you have to integrate renewable energy into such building, and you have to integrate the energy management into that building. Okay, so I can show you a little bit more about that. If you want to put that in numbers, usually building 1.0 or building as we are familiar with is way out here, right? The building that we use as is, we don't have to care about anything. We haven't been looking at the consumption. So if you start to manage, to optimize the efficiency of the building, you can decrease the consumption, let's say from 1.0 to about 0.65, or even sometimes you can decrease by half of the general consumption, right? This is can be done, especially in an old building. Sometimes you just replace old air conditioner with a newer version that is much more efficient. You actually decrease the energy consumption by almost half of what you've been paying. Sometimes investment into new air conditioning pay back in 4 years, just from efficiency improvement alone. Okay, so if you in this zone, if you have decreased your consumption by about 35% up to 50%, you are so-called zero energy building oriented, meaning you have the mindset, or you have the intention to be zero energy. Okay, and then in order to cross this line, you have to produce something, because energy can improve by so much, but it's not going to be more than 50% roughly. So once you start producing something, you will go up the vertical line. This is a normalized generations. You go up this line. Okay, for example, if you're already here and you produce some electricity, you will be dragged, you will be moved from this point to this direction, and very, very close to so-called zero line. This zero line or green lines mean you actually produce electricity at the same amount of your consumption, right? If you're consuming, let's say 0.5, and you're producing 0.5, you'll basically meet them there, right? Meet them there. That's also zero energy building. So the goal is here. First goal, reduce your consumption. Second goal, try to produce more renewable energy. And the easiest renewable energy to be produced is obviously the solar energy. You can install solar and or wind or biomass or whatever, but solar is the easiest way too. So that means before we talked about this, or conventional buildings, transmission, transformer buildings. Also, you can also have electric vehicle charger. But then if you want to integrate solar panels into the system, you can just install and don't have to care. Or you have a choice of installing solar panels together with energy storage. Sorry, I haven't changed some Thai words, but it's solar and energy storage. And then in the green box here, you have a energy monitoring and control system. That is what we approach with our buildings. So what we did was, okay, this is the Energy Research Institute building in Chiang Mai. Okay, you have about energy consumption about 100 kilowatts. You have two system of the solar 100 kilowatt, 30 kilowatts. Oh wow, the number already looks good, right? You only consume 100 kilowatts on average, but you already have 100 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt, 30 kilowatt of solar panels. That 160 kilowatt looks like you're in a good shape. But again, let me remind you that kilowatt is kilowatt. What matter is kilowatt hour, how many hours this thing can consume and how many hours this thing can produce. So on average, solar is producing about 4 kilowatt for 4 hours a day. So it's so far multiplied by 4. Energy consumption is roughly multiplied by 12 hours or 14 hours. So you still have some mismatch between. On top of that, you still have nighttime consumption that you don't have solar at all. So it's very difficult. And you can see the problem now that it's very difficult to match these 100 kilowatt average and these 160 kilowatt solar and have a zero energy consumption. So the help that we have is this. We have installed a battery system such that you can try to match the solar panel with the energy demands. So let's see, this is what happened. This is what happened with the load profiles. Before we have solar, the blue line is before we have solar. The pink, oh, sorry. The pink line is basically after you have solar, right? After you have solar. So you can see that okay, the blue line shifted and become pink line. That is good, right? You actually reduce the daily consumption. Oh, by the way, the numbers here is by the day, not by the time anymore. This is like January, December, November. This is 6 months of the consumption. After you install solar panels, 160 kilowatt, this is what you see. Okay, you get obvious reduction, but the problem is something is below zero here. And if you sum up whatever below zero, you can see the red graph in the bottom. So you overproduce on many days, at many times, you overproduce a whole lot of electricity. And in Thailand, you cannot sell whatever you overproduce. So unfortunately, you can't. That means that's a waste. Okay. So after you install this battery, okay, you have about 50 kilowatt of battery installed to the building. Then in the building, you also have electric vehicle charger that you have to also monitor. And you also monitor this. This is an interesting part. You actually install a sky monitoring system. So all in all, you try to predict the amount of solar energy that is going to produce or being produced. So if you have this information, you will use this information to manage the battery. For example, if your camera can see a big cloud coming to the direction of the building, you can send the command of prepare or get ready to the battery, meaning the battery has to charge and then get ready. Once the the cloud come through and you cannot get the sunlight on top of onto the solar panels, the battery has to discharge or has to supply the electricity instead of the solar panels, because on those moments, maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes that the cloud is shadowing the panels, we have zero power, almost zero power from the solar panel. You need power from other source. So in that case, it's the battery. So you have this kind of building, as well as you have the stability control. Okay, maybe we can skip that. It's not relevant. But what you can do is this. Okay, we have tried that. Okay, during so-called Earth Hour that people promote each other to turn off everything, our building don't have to turn off. We can still work during those hours, but you supply the battery and everything from the outside look like it's zero because the battery is actually supplying. And then you actually do not get electricity from outside for these hours. So basically, if you need to respond to any demand from the outside, your battery can assist you on that. Okay. Number two, in some building, and this might be familiar with those who already manage energy, you are also being charged for so-called peak period or demand charge. If your electricity demand is too high, your electricity bill is automatically bigger because you need more power, right? So our battery can also be programmed such that, okay, whenever you have this high power consumption of the building, battery should help to reduce those power demands so you don't get charged by demand charge or power charge. So that also works in this case. And this basically the normal operation of this battery right now. Okay. And of course, our target is to be near zero building, right? So if we want to be near zero, the battery has to supply most of the time that the solar panel cannot supply. So obviously, our battery is not big enough, but up to certain time, for example, certain time, 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 hours, you can demand the building to be very near to zero consumptions. Okay. All in all, I don't want to go much into detail, but we have this. I have this paper published. I think at the beginning of this year that okay, for this setup, if you want to be level 1, very close to zero, you're going to need to install 200 kilowatts with about 275 kilowatt hour of the battery system, okay? Or 250 kilowatt of the solar power and 175 kilowatt hours, or basically these 2 points will get you to level 1 or very close to zero. So why this work is important, that is a good suggestion to the budgetary. If the goal is to be very close to zero, these optimization, whatever I have published in that paper, will make a good suggestions for an estimation. And of course, you can have other thing in the future. This is our future research. You probably want to have chill water system storage. For example, if you have too much solar during the daytime, you might not have to have a big battery, but you produce cold water just to supply to your aircon system instead. Or you can store your power, your energy as hydrogens, which is a future of many country policy, right? And this is important. I would like to personally share this with you today that, okay, we mentioned that in Thailand especially, you do not like putting solar on the ground, and you lose so many land utilizations. So there are two ways. Number one, you can use that normal solar panels to build a parking roof. Okay. If you have parking that needs shading, you just install this structure and put the normal solar panels, and you can park underneath without exposing your car to the sun. That's a good thing, but still doesn't worth that much. Second choice is this. If you have available land which is already done agriculture or plantations, there are a new kind of solar panels, so-called agrivoltaic or semi-transparent solar panels that you can have solar panels. You can still have some sunshine or sunlight go through these gaps. And you can still grow some vegetation or herbs or whatever plantation that doesn't need strong sunlight. So we have practiced quite a few of these plantations inside CMU campuses, and it works very well. So, and of course, depends on the plants. It depends on the season, but in general, you can have these, and you do not lose land utilizations. You can still use this land to produce food as well as to produce electricity, because obviously you need more electricity for your building to be near zero. Okay. Rather than that, we as Chiang Mai University, we have to be concerned about transportation, because this small cube bus, they use electric. In Chiang Mai University, we have 50 of these, and they contribute to energy consumption or electricity consumption. So you have to get them into account. And how? So you have to track these utilization. For example, how many kilometers a day? That means how many kilowatt hour of electricity you need to prepare for these. And on the other hand, you can use this as energy storage. For example, each car has easily 50 kilowatt hour of battery capacity. So you can direct these bus to charge whenever you have extra solar power. So that bus or these bus will be automatically battery storage for you, right? You can also integrate that with so-called waste to energy. We at Chiang Mai University, we have one of these waste to energy center. Basically, we have food waste processing facility to produce methane and produce electricity. So we have our own power plant, but this plant is very small. It does supply about 2% of the electricity being used in the university campus. But nonetheless, this plant is very important in terms of we had avoid methane methane emission. Compare with if you send out the food waste to be digested outside campus, you digest it on campus and capture methane and reduce or mitigate methane emissions. So in this case, it's a win-win situation. Number one, of course, you have to invest into this facility, but you can reduce your methane emission, and this is how much we had reduced. And you can produce some electricity out of this. Okay. And of course, you can do many other things, solar farm, solar hot water collector, the buses, the waste to energy, and then energy efficiency. So in order to have the result, you cannot just look at one building. You have to look at the system as a whole, and you have to work together. Okay. I think that's the end of my presentation. Maybe I'm too quick, but I hope you enjoyed it. I'm very happy to discuss further with you, or if you have questions from the chat box, I am very happy to answer that. Thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you so much, Dr. Brooke. It's a really insightful presentation. Thank you so much. Me, myself, also enjoy the presentation and I learned so much today. And here in the chat box, I saw a lot of questions.
Oh, okay.
But before, can you please stop the screen share?
Oh, sure, sure, sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, let me proceed to it. Okay, so Dr. Prue, before we move to the, can you hear me? Before we move to the participants' question, I actually have questions. So, what do you think? You saw us a lot of technologies for the renewable energy, right? But what kind of renewable energy technologies that you think are the most suitable for climate countries like ASEAN, like Thailand and Indonesia? Is there any specific technology or?
Right. So in my opinion, solar is the easiest installation. And right now, I think it's true for every country that it is also the cheapest one to invest per kilowatt that you receive. The problem with solar is you cannot control when the sun gonna shine, when it's not gonna shine. So it will also introduce a lot of instability problem with the electricity grid. So yeah, solar is easy, but it has problem as well as wind. They are in the same category. Um, but for me, what we have been forgetting, and that's true for all ASEAN country, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, Laos, Vietnam, we have neglected our waste. We we tend to be clean. We clean up. We are very clean people. But the word cleaning up for us is collect everything, mix together, and send it somewhere. Right? I think it's true for every country, including Thailand. You have to stop that. You have to separate the waste, and all of them goes to separate way, and then they have separate values, and the value will be tenfold of what you're doing. Right now, what Thailand and other countries are practicing is try to find new dump site or landfills to landfill more waste, which has a lot of environmental problem. But if you separate food waste, as I just show you in the slide, food waste can be used to produce methane. You don't even have to carry it out of your community. It can be on site, collect food waste, goes to this facility. Then you collect other waste like recycle and other material that cannot be recycled and send it to power plants. That is going to be very sustainable as well as solving the waste problem at the same time. So yeah, I think if I have to make a suggestion, let's look at the waste, including wastewater, including whatever waste that you have, you can use to produce energy most of the time.
Okay, so the thing is, maybe ASEAN countries now are like excited about the technology, the energy shift uh from fossil fuels and to
Mm.
more cleaner to renewable energy. But the thing is, we tend to forget the waste that comes
Mm,
from that, right?
exactly.
And I think we need to push the policymakers and stakeholders across ASEAN, the government, to think about this also, not just okay, we do cleaner, but we don't think thoroughly. We just think about like only the a little point, I think, right?
Right, right. And the waste to energy, either biogas or incineration power plants, they are 24-hour supply. So they're very different. They're clean. They're very different from solars because they are very stable too. So that's the main idea that they should not forget about waste.
Okay. I think still relevant to our discussions now. So Mr. Arthur asked about what policy or technology shift do you think would have the biggest immediate impact in accelerating our transition to cleaner electricity?
Oh, very good questions. And we know we are all Asian people, ASEAN especially. Uh, Asian people, the best policy is the enforcement policy, meaning you have to force people to do it. For example, Thailand is about to release the tax, no, the so-called Climate Change Act, meaning and capture or limit the emission for factories, and you get penalty for not complying. So that's the policy that would really work because everybody will get penalty if you don't comply. Um, because because if you want to push and that's the nature of Asian people. If it's not profitable, it's really not interesting, right? So you either push and pull. Pull mean you make it profitable. For example, solar energy is a good example. Right now, investing into solar energy is very profitable. It's much better than put the money in the bank. So there's not no need to push. Everybody wants to install solar energy. So two ways. One, enforcement. If you really need it, you enforce it. Two, you make it very profitable.
So, okay, yeah, as you have said before, mentioned before that as Asian, it's hard if we're not enforced to do something, if the government didn't just directly make the rules about it, right? So, do you think so, for to make it um popular, I think, or make it people decided to use the, let's say, solar panel in Indonesia or in Thailand, do you think the government should collaborate with like a company that produce or that sells a solar panel and then like make like a several scheme or of court cooperation or what?
Right, right. Yeah, solar panels, in solar system, there are many, about two main devices, not including the wiring and accessory. So panels and power electronics or inverter. So all the government should promote local or domestic productions. These are not new technology. I am sure that the company in Indonesia, in India, in Thailand they already have some. You can have this technology. You can set up a solar panel factory, right? Probably it's gonna cost a little bit more than if you import it from China, but for long-term sustainability, I would love to see the government promote domestic production of these devices because you cannot stop the solar installation is growing on and on. And I think that's related to Jonathan's questions too. When you produce so much, you have to uh, make a good standard equipment. So the government in Thailand, for example, I'm not sure about other countries, but in Thailand, in order to legally connect it to the grid or so-called on-grid system, you have to have the electrical company to monitor to inspect the installation. If you don't pass the inspections, you cannot connect. It's illegal to connect. So that means all the equipment has to be according to the standard, uh, and also the installation has to be according to the standard. So then that would prevent your concern of bad equipment, lower standard equipment, because it shouldn't be available in the first place because it's illegal to sell if it's not according to the standard.
Okay. I think it's very good to mention that the standard of the equipment should be focused on, because I think sometimes the government, which is here, the companies proposing their products, they have like several spec specific, like characteristic that, oh, it's good and it's cheap, but sometimes forget that the equipment isn't good enough. So I think here the government should collaborate with academician, right, to provide better understanding.
Right, right. The government has all the authority to announce any standards, but then there has to be an enforcement. You have to like prevent bad players not to have the access to the market. So everybody has to play by the rules. And yeah, in Thailand, the province no the electricity authority, they have a list of company that that is according to the standard. So people see that list, they only buy stuff from those lists. Otherwise, they know it's illegal to connect to the grid. So I think it's quite straightforward, but it's a government authority. Yes.
Okay. This is from Miss Iris Nicolette. She asked about, given the policy landscape in ASEAN, what regulatory or market-based mechanisms you think could most effectively accelerate near zero energy building adoption?
Or for near zero building, I think the biggest and first priority is the involvement of the either building owners, energy manager of the building. You have to know what you what you are consuming first. That's just very important. Monitoring, right? When you know that, there can be many options. You can see which part of the building is not efficient. You can see which behavior leads to inefficient operation. Then you can also see which equipment needs to be replaced. Uh, and of course, the installation of renewable energy is the last step. So we have to make sure, because if you rank down from cheapest to most expensive, the cheapest is to change your behavior. You don't invest anything, you just change the mindset of the people to manage well. But you have to know who or whom to whom you have to govern. And then you improve efficiency is still much cheaper than invest into renewable energy. So renewable energy, especially with battery, is the last resort, is what puts you towards that goal where you already done everything else. So I think the answer to that is best way is to really know the profile or the characteristic of your building and get people to know that what's your goal, what the policy of the facility. I think that's very important.
Okay. I think Thank you so much for the feedbacks, Dr. Brooke. The next question is from Ms. Rinalia. She asked about, how do you see collaboration opportunities between universities, industries, and governments in promoting near zero energy development? Because as we know, let's say the government already make the rules about using the needs to use renewable energy, but the awareness isn't there among the people, the citizen. What do you think about that?
Hmm. Tough questions. It's really different between countries as well. But I would say the technology changes very quickly. The government themselves, they cannot know it all. They need to seek help. In Thailand, I think even if you're not the best at everything, but on that sense that the government knows their capacity, they are seeking help from academic all the time, almost all the time. It's very normal for professors from the university works on a project with the government, especially the policy related project. There, in other words, well, when this government agency try to draft a policy, they will use university as scapegoats if the policy go wrong, you know. So that's how it works in Thailand actually, because one, they can be sure that it has been thought of carefully. Second, if something goes wrong, oh, it's from university, it's not from me. Okay, so I think it works to some extent, and it ends up as a good approach as well.
Okay, thank you so much. So, yeah, the collaboration should be there, right? The
Yeah.
government couldn't deny the role of universities here.
No, no,
Yeah.
no.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I think Mr. Ridwan Ibrahim asked about, it's a very interesting question. I have a question about some home that got fired with solar panels
Mm.
installation, especially at the control room. What can you say to this? Installation fault, substandard product, or user's fault? Please clarify.
If there is a fire, there can only be, one source, which is electrical shortage, either at the panels, at the from the installations, or faulty electrical devices. So you cannot pinpoint which one. But again, you can decrease the risk of that. As I mentioned, in Thailand, you need to get inspection from the electrical authority before switching on. You, of course, you pay more. I know some of you may say, okay, solar installation is very straightforward. It can be DIY project from the dad and the kid. I agree with that. But whenever you try to really install and use it for 10, 15, 20 years, you need a qualified installer, and all the equipment has to be on the list. And from my experience alone, what causes the burning, if not fire, is the loosen of the electrical connector. That's the most likely thing that can happen. So that's why in solar installations, people still think that, oh, you install, you leave it for 15 years and it's gonna work. It's not. You're gonna have a clean up. For example, you clean the solar panel so you get more electricity. You check up the electrical connectors every year, such that you don't have those incidents. So I think it is quite important, both quality of the product, installation, and the routine checkup. So it's very important. And in Thailand, when you do routine checks up, you have the thermal camera. You scan this through the electrical boxes. You scan it to the solar panel. If you see a hot spot, that is very likely to cause problem in the future. So you can prevent this incident by routine checkup.
Routine checkup is very must, right?
Right.
So this is will be the last question. Um, you mentioned about the importance of calculating energy consumption, but it's very hard to do it manually, right? So is there any apps or any website to for or gadget that could help us do the energy consumption calculation?
I believe there is, but I don't have it from the bottom of my heart now. Maybe some of you can try ask ChatGPT right now, but but I'm sure there is. It's very well, just do it slowly. It's very simple calculation with a simple spreadsheet. But yes, I'm sure there's an app or website for calculating your energy consumption. But the most important thing is you understand the terminology. Today, I believe you do all understand watts, kilowatt, kilowatt hours. So all these three words should help you out when you do the actual calculation, either by yourself or through any website. It should be simple enough.
Oh, okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Brooke. The question marks our sums up our Q&A session for today. I think there's a lot of people that still want to ask, but we have limited time. But yeah, okay. So let's move to group photo together. I encourage to all the participants to open your camera and use the virtual background that I have sent in the chat box. Okay. Maybe we wait for a while. And for that, once again, thank you so much, Dr. Fruit. I learned a lot today. I think the participants also learn as well. Wait,
Thank you for having
while
me. It's such fun.
you're very welcome. I think while waiting for the participants to open their camera, I will, yeah, wait, I will search the form. Okay, I see that everyone's ready. Maybe we can proceed now for the first slide. Okay, 1, 2, 3, smile. Next slide. 1, 2, 3, smile. And then the last slide. 1, 2, 3, smile. Okay. Thank you so much, all participants, for joining us today. And Dr. Crook, once again, thank you so much. Me, as the I want to say sorry. Apologize to you if during our session today or before during rehearsal I do mistakes. Yeah.
Kindly share the slide, madam.
But yeah, the slide will be on our website, the CATECP website. My college already sent it. You can check on the chat box. Thank you so much. Dr. Cook, do you have anything you want to say again?
Yeah, thank you. And it's very nice to meet all of you. Hope you enjoyed it. And you can always contact me for any further questions. Just let me know. I'm very happy to work with you anywhere in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Cook. Maybe if you can leave now, I will coordinate with the participants for the attendance
Oh, okay.
link.
Yes,
Okay,
thank you.
thank
See you
you.
again. Bye.
I have already checked the link that me and my college sent, and on our device it's worked fine. So please try to check again.